All right. Looks like our first player. OGS top.
OGS top.
And over here, Polt Prime.
Not as good as an intro, Tasteless.
Not as good.
I'll let it go, though.
Now, in this game, I'm wondering if we're going to see some different play here. The map is Xel'Naga Caverns. You are pretty close. And actually, take a look at this ramp here. In Terran versus Terran, this region here, you can contain them right away.
It's true.
There's some very good contain builds. One of the builds I like to do is get the 5 Marines and get a Hellion rush out. It's actually a build DeMuslim told me. And you get those units out there, you set up bunkers, get a Viking right away and a tank, and just contain them for as long as possible.
You know, I would prefer to see some Banshee openings. I love Banshee openings.
Banshee openings are very exciting.
Top actually messed up his Banshee opening by not having his Marines in place to stop those Vikings. You know, and it still came back and won. So, I mean, Top actually, when you think of it that way, we may see another Banshee opening from him. But no.
You can see Polt Prime a little bit uneasy here. He's hoping, well, he wants to make sure he's actually not going to get proxy racks or anything like that. So he's sacrificing a little bit of his economy early here to have one worker scatter on the map and see if there's any tomfoolery going on here, if I can use a word from another time period.
That's right. You know, tomfoolery. First time I used that in a cast, people actually went crazy and told me what it actually means. Is apparently there was some comic in like the 20s called Tomfoolery.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know. I'm actually from New Hampshire, so you know, a lot of very old school people there teaching me some funny lingo, such as tomfoolery.
New Hampshire, man. I remember when I visited you there, man. It's lots of trees.
You like my forest?
You live in a forest, man.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We got Marines on the way out. And nothing out of the ordinary yet, guys. Not too much to talk about. Both these players opening up with just very standard build orders.
Yeah, you know, I think that once they have these Marines out, they're going to be able to deviate a little bit. And I want to see two different build orders. I don't like mirror matchups where they always go the same builds.
Yeah, that gets pretty tense.
Yeah, I love to see...
Well, then it's a tightrope walk, and, you know...
Yeah, and someone, you know, has to kind of sneak out and do something else, and it gets messy, Tasteless.
Gets messy. You are right, Artosis.
I like the clean cut, you know, this is my build, this is your build, let's duel.
Here we got a little bit of pressure coming out here early on. Now, this is not a bad idea on this map. And you can see our green Terran was controlling both the Xel'Naga watchtowers.
And really, there's no reason not to just bring a couple Marines out at that time. And, you know, the odds of there being a Hellion or more Marines out there, so extremely low. You can kind of just clean up, not let him scout as much. And even if you're not scouting anything with that watchtower, it gives you a peace of mind. It gives you information as well. Hey, there's nothing out here. And that's actually, even if it's one time in 20 that there's going to be something out there, it really helps to know.
As we see the metagame kind of transform, I think we're going to see a lot more focusing on controlling these Xel'Naga watchtowers early. These are so... I actually really like the Blizzard put these in the games.
Yeah.
It adds this whole new element of positioning, or controlling a certain position.
Yeah, actually, total complete props to whoever it was, whether it's Dustin Brown or someone else who thought of Xel'Naga watchtowers
I love
the
that
high
feature.
grass. Those actually are two completely amazing things. I think that even in Brood War, those could have totally improved the game.
Oh my god,
There's going to be so much strategical different things coming out because of that.
I hope, like, when the expansion packs and stuff like that come out, they keep adding features like that. As long as it's not like a tavern I buy potions at, you know what I mean? But you know, I remember when I first heard that there were going to be structures and stuff like that in the game, I was like, oh, I don't know if I like that, you know, because I'm such a diehard Starcraft guy. But then when I saw it, I'm like, no, actually, this is awesome. Okay, game is picking up now. OGS Top is moving out his army, and it looks like he will go for a light contain build. Now, the positioning here for our Terran player, not exactly that good. He's at the bottom of his ramp, and if he does get contained, it's going to be pretty bad.
Yeah, you know, but right now we see no siege mode being upgraded here for Top, but he does have a medevac, so this is kind of interesting. He may try to just bust in, but siege mode almost done for Polt Prime. If he sieges up on the high ground, I can't see anything working with this group of units.
He moves out and then comes back again.
Kind of like a little pressure expansion build. You know, he is making that command center at home. And also, actually, a Raven being produced.
Raven, the anti-Banshee. You want to get that Raven out so that you're not actually just scanning to get rid of the Ravens. That can be bad.
Yeah, that actually costs so much money. It's worth the Raven. And Ravens actually, I feel like they're a very underused unit right now, even though we're seeing them in so many games. Well, this is actually going to turn into like a Science Vessel type unit where Terran just always makes one.
A Raven is just, it's also one of the best units in the game. It's so insane. Its abilities are so strong, and especially point defense drone.
Also, it's my favorite bird.
It is?
Yeah, man, the Raven.
The Raven's your favorite bird? I had a parakeet when I was a kid, so I'm a parakeet.
I don't actually have a favorite bird, but Raven would probably rank pretty low.
Maybe it might be in my top 10.
Yeah.
You know, here comes the command center landing. Very passive, actually, play from both of these guys. I'm very interested in seeing how this game kind of evolves.
Yeah, you know, we have Tank Viking going on from Polt Prime. Very standard play. That's one of the most standard things you can do in this matchup. And it looks like we're just going to see Bionic Tank from OGS top. And, you know, I got to give the nod to how good Viking Tank can be, but I love Bionic play in Terran vs. Terran. It's so tempo-based. It's so awesome. Yeah. I really enjoy to watch it, and I enjoy to use it when I do play TVT.
All right, now we see it's starting to pick up. Now, Polt Prime is starting to apply some pressure. You've got to keep these medevacs alive. He's got his own Vikings. He does have Ravens. Now, you can use that Raven with a point defense drone to absorb the Viking hits. That can win you a Viking versus Viking battle.
Yeah.
Now, they both have Marines, so that's not as impactful as it would normally be if it was just Marauder tank. The dropship goes down. One Viking picked off.
And I think that PDB might have been too quick there.
Yeah, this seems like a look at the distance. I don't know. That seemed like a little bit of a nervous reaction.
That was a PPPD, a premature point defense.
Oh, I like that. A PPPD.
Yep.
You are witty, Artosis.
Yep. Thank you. I do try.
All right. We got a command center on the way over here, but this one is already set up. 2 gas is mining. OGS top going to be able to crank out way more gas-based units. That means more Marauders, siege tanks, Vikings, Ravens, you name it.
But the SCV's just now going into Polt Prime's expansion. Got his mules out, making a turret, just in case. And he sieges up back there.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. I would have sieged up a little bit closer up here.
Yeah, you know, gain some sort of position with your siege tanks. You do have those Vikings, which are going to help you spot any units coming in. And a third tank siege in a funny location.
You want to be really careful about that because this point here and this point here actually are pretty small, tough to get through. So it's bad if you get contained.
Very bad.
Looks like this guy won this showdown. This shoot-off over here. All right, now he has a considerable amount of Vikings. He has a Raven. He does almost have the energy. He's 10 energy away from point defense drone.
By the time he gets up there, he'll have it. But there are a lot of Marines here. I don't know if it's enough. He may be able to actually clear out all the Vikings before anything can happen, especially if those Marines are a little bit out of position. And it's kind of interesting that he's actually transitioning from Biotank into a ton of Vikings.
Yeah, well, Vikings are a very powerful unit in TVT. Very, very deadly. Yeah, in fact, the range on it is just so insane. I mean, it really is a siege tank of the sky.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Marauder you can't get away from because it slows you down, but a Viking you can't get away from because its missiles actually just have range that is unreal, and they attack very fast.
Yeah. You know, of course they can't hit ground, but if you tape a Banshee and a Viking together, you get something that nightmares are made of, Tasteless.
That would be terrifying.
It's like killing overlords and queens at the same time, man. I would be so sad.
We have more Vikings on the way out here, and now OGS top is moving. Nobody seemed to be too comfortable sieging in the middle of the map, and now these tanks are unsieged.
So he's
taking
a
look here. Once again, you can see OGS top is just outproducing his opponent. He's 10 supply ahead. He's always able to out macro.
Oh my, I think I know what's going to happen here. These mains are so small. If he sieges up near the main base, he's going to gain a ton of ground, and he may even destroy a lot of buildings. This is actually a great move.
This is so smart. This is going to force Polt
does he get the Viking? He gets the Viking. That's huge. And Polt Prime, he's stimming and attacking. Can he break through here?
He's going to land these Vikings now, and this is going to clean house.
Wow, great Viking landing right there. Polt Prime in a lot of trouble.
That's so smart. This forces the Terran to engage here. And as you can see here, the unit count is quite different here since our this Polt Prime basically has nothing. Very smart move. Instead of engaging over here at this location, he knows that since in StarCraft 2, all you have to do is have vision and you still do full damage on the high ground. Why not just attack this region? Because it's a small main base. You're going to end up getting a lot of critical buildings. We just learned a lot about TVT.
This is so good play by Top. I mean, everything was just so well planned out. Really nothing. I mean, he almost sniped some tanks, but he's in so much trouble here. He can barely produce. He's lost so many units. I mean, let's take a look at those supplies. 65 to 101. What? That is so much more.
This is really okay. No wonder this guy is OGS Top. That is the guy I'm referring to. Is the highest ranked player in OGS right now in their practice matches.
OGS Top, man. He is a palindrome. He's OGS Top, and he's the top of OGS.
You are on a killing spree today, Artosis.
Thank you.
I mean, for a guy who was trapped in an elevator with Hydra for 30 minutes because the elevator broke down.
It gave me inspiration to be funnier.
That actually happened, by the way, to him earlier today.
Yeah.
Okay. Terran can do whatever he wants now. OGS Top can. He's got the gold base. He did back off because he says, wait a minute, all right, let's not overextend ourselves. And that's smart. I really respect that.
And, in fact, I really do like exactly what we see Polt Prime doing. If we take a look at Polt's main base here for a second, he is actually going, look at this, a lot of Marauders, and he's getting some medevacs. So I think what we're going to see here is he's just going to try to overrun him, just make a lot of Marauders, a few Marines, some Siege Tanks, and just find some position to attack, stim in, and hopefully win because your opponent overmade the wrong unit types. But look at that. OGS Top.
He's so good.
So many units. So many unit. Many unit. So.
It's a lot of units, man. He's
palindromes, man. That's what excitement is made of.
All right, he could actually land in here and take out the Siege Tank. Nope, don't do it. Marauders are out. And, you know, he's not even using scans right now to scout. That's smart. He has enough Vikings. He's ahead. He can just take a peek in here with the Vikings and, of course, send mules like we see right here to the expansion. This is really high-level play. We got a drop, though. Can this do enough damage to pull Polt Prime back into the game?
No.
No, it can't. No. Okay. It's painful to watch.
Right now, OGS Top with these Vikings and just his great map reliance. I mean, he's seeing everything. Flying over his opponent's base. Here we go. This is the final attack. Stemming in, and Polt Prime looks like he is doomed.
He is getting cleaned up right now.
Does push through that first line.
Oh, excuse me. I thought there were more Siege Tanks in the back over there. So he has managed to break, but of course, the gold base plays such an important role. Nice even putting a sensor tower over here to check and see if anybody's trying to sneak out.
A couple of units being sent towards that sensor tower, but if we look at the supplies, 156 to 100. And here come these Vikings just molesting poor Polt Prime, man.
This is brutal, man.
And I kind of feel an OGS Prime rivalry building, I have to tell you.
Yeah, we've seen so many of these guys coming over here and engaging each other. Now, of course, TSL, also a monster team,
but only three
small.
players.
Yeah.
Hard to really have a rivalry with a team with only 3 players.
Yeah.
Unless you hate them personally, like, it doesn't work.
Okay, here we go. He's going to try to push forward, but I do believe there's too many units coming here. The angle is pretty good here for Polt Prime, but the amount of units is just unsurmountable.
Right, a lot of Vikings being landed here. And, you know, Polt is doing a really good job. He's killing so many units, but it's such an uphill battle. He's got such less economy.
Well, it's just this gold base over here.
We do look at the income tab,
and God, that's a big
he
difference.
is over twice the income of Polt Prime. So, I mean, top, man.
I like this strategy. I got to go back to that moment where we saw the siege tanks siege up and start to hit the units at the buildings inside his main base. That just forces the Terran to engage. Really smart.
Wow. You know, Polt backwards is plop. And if that didn't have the L, his ID backers would be top.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You are out of control. By the way, he's making command centers everywhere now. He knows he's so ahead. It's like, I got to spend all this money.
Yeah,
I have almost as much money as the GOMTV prize pool for first place.
It is just wild right now. Poor Polt, he's pulling out every little move he can, and even though he's doing good and killing armies, it's not enough. His supply is literally 50% less than his opponent's, non-stop.
This game has sort of went from really, really exciting to really, really painful to watch. Like, okay, here we go. Once again, another battle. And that's going to be it. He lands the mule, landing the mule in the battle.
With nothing to repair
that's
even.
A diss. That's a diss right there.
Okay,
this is the new, I like that.
Yeah, man.
I like when we see stuff like that.
Just dancing units. He even has a nuke ready.
He doesn't even care anymore. He's actually going to nuke him. He's landing mules in the middle of the map. Mm-hmm. This is brutal. Oh, this is an R-rated game.
Oh, poor Polt Prime. He's such a great player,
If your kids are watching, you tell them to go to the other room until this is done. This is brutal. Okay.
SCV's
and he's so
out.
desperate, he's going to send SCVs out. And then he's going to attack with the mules. Oh, my God. He lands another mule.
He's mean, man.
He is just dissing him right now. He's actually humiliating his opponent.
Polt can't be happy with this.
Look at that. Mules. Oh, God. He's like nuking him, too. GG. Okay.
GG and pauses. I've seen people do that, and then they type out "has left the game," and then top leaves and Polt wins. Like, that's the only way to come back in that situation. I love the pause, man.
That's the sneakiest move I've ever heard.
Sneaky
Pause the
snakes,
game.
man.
Try that one, guys. Pause the game and say has left the game.
If I make it a GSL next season, Tastes, I might try that. Just totally mess with them. They would be so angry at me. They're like, you work here. Why would you do that? I'm like, I'm sorry.
I just really wanted that prize money and so much.
Great game, though.
Great. Really, really educational there at the start of that game. Using those siege tanks to get into the main. Remember, this isn't StarCraft 1 where the high ground, low ground disadvantage works the same way. In this game, units do full damage and hit all the time as long as they can see the high ground.
Yeah.
So he goes over there and suddenly he's just attacking all of his opponent's structures.
And he has this little wall where you can't get close to his siege tank, so
yeah,
it's actually in a lot of ways more effective. And on that map with such a small main base, he knows already, if I go for this strategy, I can actually just get up there and hit buildings because there's nowhere else for him to build his buildings. So
yeah, exactly.
This is actually an awesome strategy.
Wow.
I actually want to look over that replay, get the build, be like, okay, I'm going to start TVTing on this map.
Run home as fast as you can. Jumping over cars and stuff, and knock the taxi driver out of the taxi.
I just call down my private helicopter, man. I just
That's right.
Him lift me
the
home.
The GOMTV helicopter on our
hanging on
with
one
our helipad
rope,
we have. Helipad we have on the roof. So we're going to be going on to our next game. Wow, what? And by the way, he's dropping mules. That is the new diss.
It is a diss, and launching just a couple nukes.
Because of course you guys you actually can't attack with mules if you didn't know that. So that's pretty sick trash stuff. I hope you guys asked some good questions because we're going to go to an interview. So we'll be right back.